Hello, everybody, and welcome to MGTOW Stories, episode number 5. Today's story is once again getting pulled off of our MGTOW from Reddit. So, without further ado, let's jump right into today's story. It's been posted by Non-Deductible Ways, and the story is titled "Princess Gets Mad at Me for Parking in Her Spot." Alright, so let's jump right into the story. So, I've been working in this office for a short while now after training. I work in a smaller division, pretty much getting paid to do data entry. People there know I'm not married and I'm very young, but I don't think they can sense the MGTOW. Although guys constantly drop red pills about their marriages, they tell me to wait until I find the one that's worth going through it for or whatever. So, fast forward. I don't care where I park my car, partly because I'm new and partly because, well, I don't care. But not today. I parked in the wrong spot today. Okay, so I get inside and get settled in, and I start working, leaving my instant messenger on unavailable because, I'm still new and can willfully ignore things because I don't know any better, apparently. Okay, so I start hearing a bit of chatter and hear a girl go, "Whose color vehicle is that in my spot?" And if that sounds confusing to you guys, because I'm reading this, and if that sounds confusing, what the girl basically said was, "Whose car is that in my spot?" And she's describing it by the color of the car and by what the actual make and model is. Okay, so now that we got that clear, let's continue reading. Okay, so I continue working and waiting for the inevitable confrontation. My blue pill self would be afraid of this, but what can this woman really do to me? I mean, really, what can she do to me? So she gets to my office, right? So Princess says in a pushy tone, "Can you move your car?" And then I, pretending to be urgent, say, "What happened?" And then she says, "Your car is in the way." And then I, pretend to grab my stuff and my keys like I'm going to get up. And I say, "Oh no, where? Did it roll away?" And then she said, "No, you parked in my spot. Can you move it? And hurry up. I've got notes to do." She said the magic word that pisses most men off from women. Hurry. And then I said, "Okay, I'm going to right now," while sitting back down because I'm obviously not. So I continue working and she walks away in a fit. She later comes back and tells me that if I don't move my car, there will be trouble because that's seniority parking. Now, just an FYI, later in the story, he does mention that there is no such thing as assigned parking or whatever. There is none of that stuff. So he's making this all up. There is no seniority parking. But let's continue reading. Okay. It's always the white woman with glasses that act like this, daddy's princess. So I decided to screw with her in the most evil way possible. I'm going to force her to look racist. All right, so here's how this goes down. There's a black guy I've gotten to know. We'll call him Steve. He's pretty new too, but he's been there longer than me. Just not in this division. I never moved my car, and she remains mad about it all day. And I overheard her telling me that she'll just take it back when I go to lunch. And I'm petty. I'm a very petty dude. So I coordinate with Steve to let him take the spot since it's close to the building. So he's ecstatic about this because, it's hot outside and I get a tan and a cardio while he gets a close spot. See, men are working together. Okay, so lunch comes around and Steve walks out of the building with me and I catch Princess looking at me from her office window and scrambling to get her keys. So I go to the restroom and tell Steve to text me when he's done. She sees me go to the restroom and she goes back to her office since she thinks I'm not leaving. Steve is ready and the exchange is quick. I pull off to lunch and he gets the spot, all without her seeing me leave. I get back to my office and I see her waiting outside. So Princess goes, "Did you move your car?" And I'm like, "Yes." She goes outside, sees Steve. That's a bit of a tongue twister. She sees Steve's car and comes back in. And she yells, "Who's the red Mustang in my spot? What the hell?" And then the random guy says, "It's Steve." He's in the back. And then the girl's like, who the hell is Steve? So, Princess walks briskly to the back to purposely choose someone out, and I noticed a change of her tone in her approach. It was almost like whispering. And I walked back there too to blow the absolute crap out of proportion. Then I say, hey, Steve, this is Princess. She doesn't like people parking in her spot, especially black people. Her face turns red. Now, Steve obviously gets that it's a joke, but she storms off. You know what? Screw her spot. I'll park in it tomorrow. And the next day. And the next day. And the next day. If I have a key mark on my car, I'll know who did it. There are cameras everywhere. Maybe when I'm actually 25, I'll become more mature, but for now, you try to make my life harder, and I will willingly return the favor twice over. And as a note, like I mentioned earlier, there are no assigned spots. She is just a blonde with glasses. And dudes at work, there are cucks that are afraid to get chewed out at work. So they let the women have all the close parking spots, and then the men, or should I say the cucks, they park in the back. And the people that show up later, they usually park in the back anyway, and Steve is usually late. So, first of all, I would like to point out one thing before I give my analysis on the story. He said that if there's ever any dents or scratches on the car, that there's security cameras. You never know. You never know if there's going to be some like weird stuff going on there. Like they might favor the woman, say, oh, our security cameras aren't working, we can't hand you the tapes over. I'm just saying, maybe I'm wrong. That's just my 2 cents on it. So now I'm going to give my analysis. And in the process, I'm actually going to also talk about why chivalry is dead, because that kind of ties into the entitlement thing. And I'll even give you guys a short story. I actually came up with a short story to demonstrate modern society and the relationship between the sexes. Okay, so let's go ahead. I'll go ahead and start with my analysis. All right, so the men at our brother's office, they're cucks. They let this entitled woman child and the rest of the other entitled women children to take the parking spots. Now, first of all, I know for a fact that men don't really fight over parking spaces, but these entitled women are used to princess treatment their whole life. So everybody must go out of their way so that the princess can get her way. It's just some common decency for women because chivalry. What? Wait, what's that? Guys, can you hold on for a second, please? I need to go check something. Wait, what was it? Really? Oh, I forgot. Oh, guys, I actually forgot to mention this. Chivalry is dead. Oh, man, that garbage, it's been dead for ages. I forgot. Silly me. I forgot chivalry is dead. Chivalry is dead. My bad. Chivalry is dead, and it's died off ages ago. So, yes, I'm going to go over chivalry first before I move on. And you guys might think that it's not related to the story, and it's not exactly related, but there are still connections here that we can make. Remember, the whole purpose of the whole MGTOW Stories thing is to share stories and to learn stuff from it. So I'm going to make some connections here, and hopefully you guys will learn from it. So, let's move on. It wasn't men who killed chivalry. Oh, no. It wasn't men. It was women themselves. Their trashy attitude towards men has grown exponentially in the recent decades. So, men, they thought to themselves, if we have to white knight for women, go out of our way to assist them, and let them use us, how come they aren't nice to us in return? And as a result of the shift in the attitude of women towards men, chivalry has died. Women killed it. Not men. It was women. Not men. Had women showed some appreciation for us being chivalrous towards them, chivalry wouldn't have died. But whatever. Being chivalrous is sexist and discriminatory against women. And, of course, it's our fault. Men, not women. It's men who are to blame for this. And don't you dare criticize women. And you know what they say? You are to never criticize the ones who are in control and to never criticize the ones in power. What I mean by that is, if you criticize a woman, you know what happens because, they're the ones in control, they're in power. Yeah, okay, you get the idea. Now, on a serious note, it is really women who killed off chivalry. That's why I'm so surprised when women don't like it whenever us men ignore them and us men refuse to put them on a pedestal. I mean, they're strong, independent women, right? They can do it. They don't need our help. But because women have killed off chivalry, yet they still act surprised when men ignore them and men refuse to put women first, it's no wonder that women have created this contradictory relationship between the sexes. And what I mean by that, it's like what men are taught and all that, how we're supposed to treat women, it contradicts the reality of things. And allow me to demonstrate with that quick story that I was just talking about earlier. All right, so this is a quick story I came up with, and I also in the process of telling the quick story, I'm also gonna mock some other ridiculous stuff in this. You'll see. Okay, so first, let me introduce the characters. Okay, so we have the oppressed, but also strong and independent princess. And we have the sexist, oppressive, homeless white male. And as you can see, he is so oppressive, you can just tell he's oppressive. So anyways, let's get to the quick story. Okay, so the oppressed, but also strong and independent princess is walking one day, okay? So she's walking one day. And as she is walking, she passes the sexist, oppressive, homeless white male sitting on the sidewalk. The sexist, oppressive, homeless white male smiles and says hello to the oppressed but also strong and independent princess, and she tells him to screw off. All of a sudden, a meteor from outer space enters the Earth's atmosphere and crushes the oppressed but also strong and independent princess. Talk about mad karma. Now, the princess demands the sexist, oppressive, homeless white male to move the meteor, and then he refuses to help her. She then screams, "Why won't you help me?" Guys, let me know in the comments if you like the quick story that I just made up. And now, look, the story, it's an over-exaggeration. It's definitely an over-exaggeration of modern society in the current relationship between men and women, but it still brings the message of the story home. Some men still act nice towards women. Okay? The women treat men like crap in return for men acting nice. And when women need help, they're suddenly not so strong and independent anymore. And then they need men's help. Do you see the point here? This is the exact reason chivalry is dead. Now that we understand chivalry and why it's dead and the ridiculous concept and all that surrounding it, we can head back to the actual story about the entitled princess in the parking space. So, this entitled woman demanded that our brother here remove his car from her parking space, despite the fact that there is no assigned parking space, but whatever, doesn't matter. I would have suggested initially that he stood up to her and not listen to her, but what he did, it was even better. Now, you might wonder why women are so entitled despite chivalry being dead for so long, and that is the next part that we're quickly going to cover. Why women are still entitled despite chivalry being dead. You see, from birth, they receive preferential treatment over boys, whether in the home, at school, and practically any place you can imagine. And then they get used to this treatment as a result. So, when you get toxic attitudes and add that to chivalry, you get the modern women. Now, I suck at math, but I can still do some basic addition, guys, all right? I can still do basic addition. So, women, they get the entitlement mentality due to them receiving preferential treatment. And to them, it's normal. And due to this, women always expect people to bend over backwards for them. And some guys do bend over backwards for women. In fact, these guys bend over backwards so much that they practically have their heads in their asses. Oh, wait. they actually do have their heads in their asses. But hey, let's continue on. Let's continue. So this entitled princess here approached our brother and expected her pussy pass to work on him, but it didn't. I mean, oh wait, let me go ahead. Let me check it out real quick. I need to check the market, guys. Give me a second. I need to check the market. Oh yeah. This just in. The price of pussy is still on the decline. It's been dropping drastically since forever, I guess. You know, the price of pussy, it is sinking. The value and all that, it's just sinking. So it's no wonder that the pussy pass no longer works on men. See, that's some true economics right there. You know what I mean? So that's some true economics. So, anyways, the pussy pass didn't work on her brother. She tried and tried again, but she still failed. All in all, an entitled woman tried to use her pussy pass against our brother, and he in turn used her craziness against her to make her look racist. Men, don't end up like the cucks at our brother's office who let women take control. Stand your ground because you are a man. Alright guys, so that concludes episode number 5 of MGTOW Stories. Wow, it's already episode 5, but again, that number is going to go by pretty quickly because this is now daily stuff that's getting uploaded on a daily basis, so I'm not surprised. So, men, please do share your thoughts on this in the comment section below. Your engagement and all that stuff, it's what keeps the community going. Your engagement, your comments, I appreciate them. The viewers appreciate them. And we can all learn from not just the video, but also from the comments. So share any additional stuff that you'd like to add to the conversation and all that stuff. Just put it in the comments below. I'll read it. And, of course, I'm going to respond, as always. So, as you guys may have known, I have a Patreon. So I don't run ads. I never will. And if you would like to donate, you can donate to my Patreon. It is in the description. Once again, not mandatory, but it is optional. And I would appreciate it, but it's optional. Just putting that out there. So, of course, the next episode of MGTOW Stories drops tomorrow at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then, what else? What else happens? What else? What was I gonna say? Oh, yeah. You can follow MGTOW Academy on Twitter at all caps, MGTOW, followed by Academy with the first A in Academy is capitalized. So if you want to contact me, just drop me an email at mgtowacademy.media@gmail.com. So, that's all I gotta say. I'm gonna let you guys go. Remember, man, that it's a dangerous world out there, so be sure to keep taking your daily doses of red pills and stay safe. This is MGTOW Academy. Signing off.